Hi everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a fun holiday card project that features inks from the brand new premium dye ink pad collection from Pinkfresh Studio. Pinkfresh has come out with 48 gorgeous colors in 12 different color families. They come in both full-size pads and ink cubes, and I was really impressed with the stamp quality. So let's jump in. I have all the full-size pads and I've gone ahead and added the labels to all of the containers. They all have a beautiful pad full of glorious ink, and I will be adding little color-coded dots to each of these little pads a la the Jennifer McGuire method, which I will link below if you don't know how she adds color dots to her ink pads. But in the meantime, I created this color reference using some Waffle Flower Crafts swatching tools. I'm not quite finished because there's a tiny little stamp where you can stamp the color inside each of those circles. And I just want to make sure that my reference is complete. But look at how nicely the ink coverage is on here. Now I did use my Misty tool and I stamped most of them twice. But I now have a wonderful visual reference of all the colors in the collection. I narrowed it down to this rainbow of color. And I'm going to be using an older stamp set that I designed for, I think, last Christmas season. Because I want to do some reindeer, and I want to die cut them, and I want to create a rainbow of deer. I'm also going to be using this background stamp, which is actually a new product from me, to create kind of a cool tone-on-tone background. So let's get started with the stamping. Now I thought this would be a great opportunity to test what one stamp looks like and then what it looks like to hit it twice. Because I think you can get a really good idea of how inks behave. I do know they stamp very crisply, and on some of these I thought that a single pass of the ink looked great. And on some of the lighter colors I thought maybe hitting it twice looked great as well. But this ink, as will most dye inks, it smooths out quite a bit after it dries. So I decided just to create my own little test. And of course, having a stamp positioner tool like the Misty makes it very easy to stamp, double stamp, and I decided to actually start writing down little notes. I got a more perfected system as I worked through the rainbow, but I didn't want to forget because some of them looked so similar between one stamping and two, and that tells you it's a great quality ink if it's hard to tell the difference. Look at those pinks. I thought it was hard to tell the difference. So this is what I did, the one pass and the two pass. And I did this for all of my colors, but you can see there the coverage is beautiful. The ink smooths out really well. I noticed a difference in the orange, but on those pinks, it was hard to tell. With everything stamped, it's time to grab the die. I just taped this down onto my platform, and I went through and I cut out my rainbow of deer. So cute. And there are all the colors stamped and die cut. And I really thought the coverage was great. Some of them are two passes and some of them are a single pass. Now to create my background, I'm going to take a piece of tape here, stick it on the back of my cling, and just press this down on my surface. I actually learned how to use a cling this way from my friend Gina K from Stamp TV. I'm going to use Embossing Magic and run it over my cardstock. And then I'm going to ink up the stamp really well with my embossing ink. And then I will place the cardstock directly on top, and then take a piece of cardstock and you hold with one hand, right, pressing down, and then you run your fingers over the entire stamp with the free hand and just work your way around, holding it in place so nothing shifts and moves. But this is a really great way to get a wonderful impression from your cling stamp. I'm going to sprinkle on my alabaster powder from Brutus Monroe. Get a nice coverage, tap everything off, and there you will see the lovely background of tiny reindeer, just like that. Took a while to get all this powder melted. You just work your way around until it's all smooth and shiny. But then you get this nice, it's very subtle, it's tone on tone. You don't really see it in photos that well, but my recipient, they will see this and be all, wow, look at those deer. That's always my goal. I'm going to score my card base at 5.5. This is going to be a US A2 size, top folding 5.5 tall by 4.25 wide. And I'm adding dot runner all over the back of that embossed panel and then using my Score Buddy to just press it into the corner over the card base for a quick way to easily line up my panel. And there are the deer. Now I've got foam tape. This is the thin foam tape, a little bit on the back of each deer, a little on the head, a little on the body, just to pop them up because I thought a little dimension would be nice. Now sometimes with the foam squares, I'll take a little liquid adhesive, and I'm doing this on the first deer because I want to have it move a little more freely before it really solidifies. And sometimes with those foam squares, you know, where you stick it, it stays. This gave me just a little bit of playtime to bring in my T-square, make sure that deer was perfectly straight, because the center deer is the key here. He is the key to all other deer. But once he's down straight, I can quickly line up the other two and then work my way across until all the deer are placed in a rainbow order, just like that. I'm going to stamp this tiny little Merry Christmas sentiment off camera, emboss it, trim it, pop it right down. And I put a little foam tape on the back of this as well. Again, added the liquid adhesive just because I thought, you know, when you have a simple design, you gotta make it straight. You gotta make it straight. So I brought in that ruler, still fussed with it a tiny bit, but I really like the placement. I think this is a very simple project, but the inks look fantastic. So if you're looking for some new ink, check out Pinkfresh Studio's new collection. Again, they come in full-size pads and ink cubes as well, and I'm excited to do more with these inks in the coming months. Thanks for watching today, and if you're not already, I would love to have you become a subscriber to my channel, and be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so you don't miss any videos that I post.